Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the upcoming Golden Cross. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, we've discussed before the three necessary but not sufficient conditions that we need to see another leg to the bull market, or I should say to the market cycle. And one of those conditions is Bitcoin being above the 20-week moving average, right? We're above the 20-week, the market feels different, right? Altcoins are popping. The market just, there's a lot more euphoria in the market when we're above the 20-week. When we're below the 20-week, everyone's sort of just down in the dumps and, not really super optimistic about crypto. The first one is being above the 20-week. Okay. The second one is getting a golden cross. Okay. And we, in fact, are about to get one. Now, it can be kind of hard to read this because the price is overlaying it, but at the end of the day, the price is noise. And you can see that we are, in fact, about to get a golden cross. Okay. It's coming up within the next day or so, next 1 to 2 days, depending on what the prices do. It's hard to know exactly what they're going to do, but it should happen. It should happen within 24 hours, 48 hours or so, depending on exactly what the price does between now and then. And the golden cross, if we go back and look at what happened after the last golden cross, okay, so we're going to go back and look at some of the things that have happened before. So the last golden cross was here in May of 2020, all right? So let's just draw a line at the golden cross. We're not going to cherry pick it based on where we want to draw the line because of what the price is doing. We're just going to draw a line through it, and then we're going to pull it back up. In the short term, the price actually dropped, okay, in the short term. So if you go look here in the short term, the price dropped about 14% or so. But what you'll notice is that it did not change the general trend that was to come, and that was generally moving up, okay? And there's going to be pullbacks and whatnot along the way. So a golden cross should not be used to tell you what is going to happen in the cycle that day, okay? It's not meant to be that. It's more so meant to help understand if the momentum of the market as a whole is shifting from being more bearish to being more bullish, okay? And if you guys remember the death cross that we had back in June, we actually ended up dropping right after it, okay? And a lot of times after death crosses, we'll actually see it go up in the short term. This time we didn't. It went down. Maybe after this one, we'll actually go up for a change because after a lot of golden crosses in the past, in the short term, we've actually gone down, right? Here is another one. We first went down, and then we went up, okay? Here is another one. We actually had a major capitulation, and then we went up. So I will say this. There's one reason why people often get sort of disenfranchised or disgruntled with the idea of a golden cross. And the reason is because people go into it assuming that by having one, we immediately have to go up. Sometimes it can just indicate a reaccumulation phase, okay? Because if the price of Bitcoin is just sort of doing something like this for a long time, you're going to get several golden crosses and you're going to get several death crosses, and that's just the way the market works. That's just natural volatility. You can see we had plenty of these during this last reaccumulation phase that lasted a long time. Now, I don't think that a potential reaccumulation phase is going to last, 1 or 2 years, right? I don't think it's going to last that long, but that's often a reason why people can get disgruntled. So remember, the first thing you want is you want Bitcoin above the 20-week, okay? Check. The second thing, what do you want? You want a golden cross. We are about to have that. The third and final thing is to hold the 20-week as support, or the 21-week EMA if you prefer, right? But generally this bull market support band to hold it as support. Bitcoin needs to hold the line. If it does, we're above the 20 week. We hold the 20 week as support. We have a golden cross. It should be clear skies ahead. That doesn't mean we're not going to have some roadblocks along the way. I mean, and I told you guys back back over here that the most bullish scenario that's realistic is to come up to like 50K, come back down and hold it as support, and then go up. A lot of people were telling you guys back then that it's just going to go straight up. Same people that were telling you it's just going to go straight up over here. I told you guys all along, no, we need a lull in the market first, right? We need a lull in the market. So just recognize there's a lot of people out there that when their predictions turn out to be incorrect, they will in fact just kick the can down the road a couple of months and say, well, the cycle peak's not going to come in say earlier in the year like they were suggesting. They're no longer suggesting it's going to come in September. Now they might say they might kick it, just add another month or so. And the funny thing is people will continue to listen to that and assume that what they say is golden and will definitively come true no matter how many times they've been wrong in the past about what's going to happen. The truth of the matter is there's not a single person in this world that can tell you exactly when Bitcoin will peak and exactly the price it will peak at. So, assuming that someone's interpretation of exactly when that's going to occur is probably not a good strategy, and you'll often see them constantly change what their predictions are anyways. So what's the point? I think generally speaking what we're looking at right now, there's a lot of people calling for market cycle peaks in September and whatnot, and Bitcoin to go to 100K, and I'm just sitting here saying like, let's just focus on holding the line. Like, let's not talk about market cycle peaks when Bitcoin is in fact still 30% below its prior all-time high. Let's actually talk about holding the damn line at the 20-week moving average, not a market cycle peak. And what's interesting is if you think about these predictions that I'm seeing of 100K by the end of September, just to give you an idea of how ridiculous that is. I really hope I don't get my words on this, but I mean, that's where it would have to go within like, I don't know, 2.5 weeks. I mean, this doesn't make any sense, right? This doesn't make any sense. So my guess is they'll, if they're still holding on to a market cycle peak in September prediction, especially after this pullback, then maybe show them that, right? Maybe show them this and ask them, well, is the price of Bitcoin going to really go up 123% in the next 2 weeks? If they're right, I will tip my hat to them. But what I'm more focused on right now is not a market cycle peak in September. It's let's just hold the line. Like, let's just focus on holding the line first. And then once we actually hold the line, we have a long way to go. I mean, we got to get through it. We got to get back through 50K, which I don't really think we're going to have huge issues with. But you can imagine as we move up, there's going to be a few day pullbacks here and there. There's going to be several week pullbacks at some point. I mean, like when we went to 42K, we had 2 weeks where we pulled back and then we started going again. It's not just going to be a straight run to 100K without looking back. It would probably be something like, where we come up and we test this as support, like we were talking about, and then maybe we continue to go up like this, and something like that is certainly a possibility. But the idea that we're just going to go straight up was never a very likely possibility. We've often spoken about the idea of how September tends to be a bad month for Bitcoin. So yet again, another reason why thinking that we're going to have a market cycle peak at the end of this month. Remember, September is normally not that great. Now, it could be that September ends the month as a green month, right? That's certainly possible. But at the current time, we are actually currently down about 4%. Okay, so not too bad, right? Not so bad so far. We're only down about 4%. You might wonder, well, how's it only 4%? Because we were just at 53K. Well, remember, the open was at 47K, and we opened at 47K, and then we moved up. But the month started at 47K here, We moved up to 53K. We wiped out all of the September gains that we had over that week in one day, and then we've been coming down ever since. And now we're trying to, in fact, hold the line. Okay, so this is where we are today. And this is ultimately, I think holding the line is what people should be focusing on right now. Not talking about nebulous market cycle peaks in 2 or 3 weeks. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So bull market support band needs to hold as support. We need to be above the 20-week. We need a golden cross. We're already above the 20-week. We're about to get a golden cross. We just need confirmation that this is going to hold. And you might wonder, well, how do we get confirmation? We've already had a couple of wicks. So if we turn around here, if Bitcoin turns around here and does something like that, I think we'll have to call that the test, right? I think we'll have to call it. We'll have to say that was the test and that was all we're going to get. I would prefer something a little bit more substantial, honestly, right? I would prefer something more substantial. Might even prefer to go below it temporarily and then maybe dip back up, maybe go down to 38K or something. Go back to where we were not too long ago. But remember, as long as we get back above it on the weekly time frame, then we're fine. So imagine how scary that would be though if we let's say we broke through the 20-week temporarily, we came down and then we just shot back up or something, and then we went up. That would be pretty interesting. I do think that people always have to be fully aware of these types of capitulations and whatnot, because a lot of times people think they assume it's the end. But a lot of times these sort of capitulation moves where we drop really quickly, that's what fuels the rally. Right? That's what fuels the rally. If you think back to March of 2020, that's what fueled the rally that took us to 64K from $3,800. So, I would say look to see if we hold the line. If we get a sharp capitulation below, then that's probably actually a very bullish sign in terms of the medium term. Now, in the short term, people are going to be upset if that happens, but in terms of the medium term outlook, I would say it's actually incredibly bullish if we were to get some type of shakeout, a longer shakeout. We've already had a September shakeout. We said for weeks we're probably going to get a September shakeout because we had been trending up for weeks going into the worst month for Bitcoin, right? We had 5 greens in a row, 1 red, and then we had a green going into September. Not a good recipe for September, right? Especially knowing what September has historically brought us. So far, September has brought us a fairly nasty shakeout. From the local top, we've had about an 11% drop, and followed by another 1.5% drop, 2 weeks back to back. So the September shakeout has manifested itself. I think the only question is are we going to get another shakeout before it's all said and done? Or are we just going to barely touch that 20-week moving average and continue trending higher? I think it's somewhat irrelevant, to be completely honest. I mean, I think if you're sort of waiting for one thing to happen to go from owning 0 Bitcoin to owning some, you're playing a very tricky game, and it's not a game I would play, right? I mean, I think for me, it's just having my Bitcoin position, DCAing what I want to DCA, and the rest is noise, right? The rest is noise. But that's generally how I see the market right now. We'll see if we hold the 20-week, and if we do, we'll get the golden cross. It should be clear skies ahead. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Remember to check out the premium list if you want to know how I am navigating these markets. You can find that at intothecryptoverse.com. You will get access to weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, the trading view indicators, the Into the Cryptoverse app, and more. So make sure you guys check it out. Definitely subscribe. Click the bell icon to turn on notifications, and I will see you next time. Bye.